Love that. All right.
So,
Awesome. Looks like we're live on YouTube. I also see the live marker for Facebook. Just going to give it a couple of minutes to share out to folks that we are live. I will share it out as well, and we can get started.
there it is. Says we're live.
Yeah. I always love when I see the alert actually work on my end too.
Yeah, I can't look at this because the delay is long.
Oh my gosh. And every now and then if you try and open it too, it you'll hear the play, the replay.
Yep, got to turn that off. It's like listening to a delay in your ear.
Yep. That's so funny. All this technology business. All right. Well, I see the notification. I know that we have made sure that you can see us and hear us just fine. We'll go ahead and get kicked off and started and see as people start chiming in with us who's joining us this morning. But welcome to our Monday morning segment for city updates, hearing from our councilors, our mayor pro tem on a weekly basis. This week, we, of course, have Councilor Seymour to give us some of his updates and things that are on the radar for the city. So as you are starting to join us on this broadcast, we do invite you to hit the like button on the video. We love to see some positive remarks too in the chat. You can give us good morning comments or messages, but more importantly, you can also guide this conversation by typing in any thoughts you may have on what we share. If you have particular questions that we don't touch on, it doesn't mean that we can't touch on it. So type them into the comment section so that we can pick those up. If you're viewing this on Facebook or if you're viewing it on YouTube, both of those platforms will allow for you to engage with us, which takes me to my next comment. And that is, if it is your first time on here, then I want to welcome you to all of our broadcasts now and into the future. Be sure that you hit the like button on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, that you're subscribed to YouTube channel, and that you are following our Facebook page so you can get those alerts when we post content or go live. The last thing that I wanted to share is that our videos are always available for replay. So if you see this and then you're like, shoot, I have to hop on and go somewhere else, what do I do? They're always available for you to find them in the video section on both of those platforms, so you can rewind, rewatch, and tune in. Any questions that you may have, make sure that you give us the hashtag replay. So if it is the morning, afternoon, or evening, we know that you tuned in, but more importantly, we're able to pick up if you have a comment or question for our counselor. And that takes care of the basic overview of how this video structure is set up. Councilor Seymour, thank you so much for fitting me into your busy Monday.
Greatly appreciate the opportunity, Juliet.
Of course. Well, I always love to have some time with you to hear what your thoughts are on what's pressing, things for people to know about. We have some links, we have some topics that we'll be sharing with them. And what I'll do my best to do is type in some of those comments as you're saying them in the chat and flag any questions that we may get along the way.
Outstanding. Ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Here we go. Hey, it's a big week in Westminster. Tomorrow night, our Planning Commission will have their first look at the revised comprehensive plan, or comp plan as we call it. If you doubt the incredible work that those volunteers put in, you can go look at the packet that they have to look at. I think it's about 444 pages, give or take a couple. So want to thank all those volunteers for participating in that. The revision came about as we put a hold on it about a year ago, actually a little over a year ago, and staff came back with some of the recommendations that we had asked for, changing some density to lower the density in some areas, change what opportunities we can on some land, especially R&D type properties that are just great and growing. Colorado Front Range is an incredible growing opportunity for research and development, especially in the biomedical fields. Mm-hmm. And it's great business to have. And then, but more importantly, a reduction of 500 plus or minus acre feet of water per year in the plan. So we have to build to the water we have, not build and then find water. So that was a critical issue. So that's tomorrow evening. Also tomorrow, our new Westminster water billing portal is going live. And so it's something that staff has been working with an outside firm for about a year and a half now, to where our clients really can look at their water usage. They can set their own alerts. They can set up to where they get leak alerts, and they can look at their usage on water hourly. And so the last 7 days or so, people have not had access to their billing portal. That'll go back up. It was a matter of transferring all that data, and our users are going to have 2 years worth of water use data too, so that they can manage that. And not long after that, we're looking for the rollout of the app, so you can have that on your phone if you care to. And then we've given the example: someone's out of town and they can get a notice something's going on. You got water running, at your house constantly. So that'll come up, and you will be able to add another property. If you're, say you're a landlord and you have another property, you can add that on there too and monitor that at the same time too. So a couple big things coming up tomorrow. If you are a current registered user on our online portal, because it's transferring over to the new one, you'll have to reset your password, and then you'll be ready to go. So I'm looking forward to testing that out and seeing how that transfer works.
Sure. If I can hop in quickly.
Go ahead.
I see Jan and Brian, thank you both for tuning in with us. There is a quick good morning message to both Councilor Seymour and myself. And just to quickly recap, if you are interested in the details on the Planning Commission meeting that Councilor Seymour is referencing, that is from 7 to 9 tomorrow evening. The link is also dropped into the chat section for you. And I'm just quickly flashing some of these quick comments. So if you are jumping in now, you can still be able to get those updates after we've moved off the subject. The link for the water site that's going live tomorrow, as Councilor Seymour has discussed, is also included in chat for you, and that's Westy Water is City of Westminster Westy Water, where you can sign up and re-register for information on your water use and handling of your own individual needs. I see a couple more folks that are tuned in with us. Thank you guys for jumping in, and I'm giving the floor back to you, Councilor Seymour, to pick back up on some of your comments now that I've interrupted your flow.
Juliet knows better. I'll just talk nonstop the entire time too. Couple of updates at Sheridan is Sheridan Boulevard has a lot of construction going on it, so greatly appreciate people's endearing patience on this. But a couple items going on right this week is continuing to work on the water line between 73rd and 76th, so that'll have the middle area of that torn up. And then this weekend there was a updated realignment on the overpass over 36 as crews continue to work to complete the underpass between the bus stop over into the new downtown underneath Sheridan. So that's what all that alignment is about, and realignment. And I'm looking forward to springtime when that's all completed and we have all lanes and expanded lanes open for that, what's a tough pinch point right now. And we appreciate everyone's patience on that as we're going forward on that expansion project. Even though we've had some interesting weather this winter, it's come and gone, and crews have been able to continue working on that underpass as well. So appreciate everyone's patience. Since it's Monday, it means tonight is second Monday of the month, meaning city council meeting. Pre-meeting starts at 6:30 in our boardroom, and then the regular meeting kicks off at 7. Also, another upgrade that we've been doing, our audiovisual staff and our tech people have been working hard since the Friday before Martin Luther King Jr. holiday to install significant updates to our infrastructure. The pandemic gave us an opportunity to expand our reach. And so we've got new cameras going in, new audio, and just like everything else, we're working through the bugs on that. It took quite some time just to get the parts in that they could put together all at one time. They'd been collecting downstairs in the multi-purpose room over time as those were delivered. But hopefully that will give, when everything's synced together, it will give those people who want to tune in from the comfort of their home or from wherever audio visual experience. So appreciate that. Tonight we're getting a presentation on the Emerald Ash Borer, which is, we've been talking about this, and our Parks Rec Library Open Space Board has been looking at that. Even our Environmental Advisory Board has been working on some opportunities that the Emerald Ash Borer devastates ash trees, and it's been present in our city for about 4 years. And there are cities in the Midwest and back east that 60-70% of their tree canopy is gone because of the ash borers. It was a very popular tree to plant, and we're trying to figure out ways that we can ward off a total devastation of our tree canopy, which is absolutely critical. And that's one of the issues that we've got on tonight is upgrading trees as part of our infrastructure. And that will give us an opportunity to get some federal grants and local money to try to treat trees, which have to be treated annually once to ward off the ash borer. In some cases, they may be too far gone, and that's another sad issue as well. But so we'll be looking at that tonight. We've got some presentations and proclamations. I get to honor Cheryl Osborne, who's been teaching baton twirling in our city since the age of 15, and her groups have been at most of our outdoor Westie Fest and the Oktoberfest. If you've seen people doing the baton twirling in our city, Cheryl's been responsible for the coaching of that. So we're going to recognize her tonight. And National School Resource Officer Day is on the 15th. And then we're giving out service awards, employees for 20, 25, and 30 years tonight as well. And that's just the first part of the meeting. And then great opportunity for residents to give their comments. Anyone can come to City Council and chat to us for 5 minutes, or you can go online and record those. Those have to be done before noon on the day of so that we can get them uploaded, or you can email comments, public comments at cityofwestminster.us to get your email as part of our record as well.
That's quite a bit that you just went over, Councilor Seymour. It does look like our mayor has also joined us. She was on the airport noise meeting, so I'm sure that was a fun-filled morning for her to be engaged on. Thank you for your service on that as well, and good morning to you, Mayor McNally. Thanks for joining us. Just a quick note for those of you, just to quickly recap some of the traffic information that Councilor Seymour has referenced. There's a weird looking link. This is what the weird looking link is that will actually take you to an image for that intersection that Councilor Seymour was discussing, that will be having continual upgrades to it related to the underpass for 36. The comments have also been included in the chat for you, if in addition to the image of that photo. So we appreciate the patience as this project continues moving through. We also had Councilor Seymour touch on the city's city council meeting that's this evening. For more of an overview of the agenda and information around that, that link has also been included in the chat for you as well. And you can be able to access, as Councilor Seymour was discussing, the meetings virtually, or you can come out in person and be able to be engaged on it through comments during the public time, similar to even the Planning Commission that Councilor Seymour discussed. If that's something that you also want to speak at, believe testimony is sign up for testimony open up until noon on the day of that public hearing as well. So know that there are ways that you can engage outside of being there in person. You can record, you can submit it in writing, but if you have input, they definitely want to hear it and be able to recognize that during the meeting as well. I think hopefully I've summarized some of those comments pretty quickly that you just made, Councilor Seymour, right? You touched on a few different additional things that I did not post in there. But do you have any updates for me additional, or do you want me to pepper you with a quick question that I have?
Fire away.
All right. What can you tell us about the fiber and the Google Fiber in particular that the city is about to start providing? Who is benefiting from that? Who may be accessing this service? And what does that look like? And I will do my part in trying to type some of your remarks in the chat.
Great question. Last week's study session, we had a presentation by Google Fiber, which is obviously a subsidiary of Google itself. And it was a discussion of an agreement for Google Fiber to use rights of way to install their fiber. So we've got a lot of questions in that and comments online when that was posted by our communication people. And it is not a city project. It is not a city-owned project. It is a independent business that, like everyone else that needs to underground wiring, cable, fiber, they have to get a access agreement on that for using public rights of way. And so that was for us to get a presentation on the contract that the rights of way that are being signed with them. And at that point, that entire conversation, since it was a study session, was also recorded. But what the Google Fiber people talk to us about is once they get the approval for this, then they have to look at their current infrastructure because they have to have a physical transfer location. And then at that point, they will look at, okay, where's our next physical location that we can put in a transfer hub? I'm not an IT person, so Mayor Pro Tem DeMott probably understands this better than I do, but they actually need physical hubs. And so they're rolling out in Denver, they're rolling out in Lakewood, and many other parts of the country as well. But those are the first ones in the metro area. And then what they do is once they get a physical location, so they have to find the land closest to their next location. And then from there, they'll spider web out Google Fiber, and it's intended mostly for residences and small businesses. That's their market on that. And then spider web that throughout the city. The positive of this from a standpoint is that it just gives one more level of competition. And at that presentation, our staff also mentioned that there's currently working through the process 2 more providers that are independent businesses that are looking to have rights of way permit to also provide internet connection. So the benefit to our residents is more competition, because if those are approved and Google Fiber comes through with what they're looking at, and then there's one other provider out there right now, that will give some parts of our city 4 choices for internet. And so that competition from a consumer standpoint like that is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for recapping that for folks. And I've also, while you were talking, was grab that link if you're more interested in seeing everything that Councilor Seymour has shared in writing, and more, you can access that press release on the Google Fiber and the interest here in our community and the implementation behind that. It does look like we had a question that came through during our quick remarks on answering Google. And so I'm pulled that question up on our screen for Councilor Seymour to be able to see, and then I will read it off for you folks to be aware of. Doral Academy is in the middle of building a new building here in Westminster. It's hit some obstacles with the Jeffco School District, particularly with their charter school renewal. Are you aware if the city's been in touch with them or the district on this?
I have not heard anything at all about that. That comes under the purvey of the school districts and the academy themselves. And so I hope that those two are able to work that out. It looks like it's going to be a fabulous building there on West Cliff Parkway, brand new from the scratch, ground up learning facility. So hoping that the two parties work that out and be a great benefit to area school kids.
Thank you so much for that, Councilor Seymour, and Brian, for that question. We will hopefully come back to you with some more updates on this as well in the future as this progresses and moves forward. All right, so if you are engaged with us on our broadcast, please feel free to type in any comments or questions you may have to us. Councilor Seymour has recapped for us our Planning Commission meeting that's tomorrow, the implementation of the water portal that's also launching tomorrow for those of you that may be interested in that. We've also touched on how to engage on those two meetings that we have, the City Council meeting that's this evening and the Planning Commission meeting that's tonight. We've got links for you. All those links take you to the agendas, to the meeting times, the locations, and we even have links to the portal, the Google Fiber we just discussed, and the road closures as well that were referenced on Sheridan. I know that I'm going to go ahead and just interject and throw that out there, but I know that the city's also celebrating Black History Month this month with the Westminster Public Library. The College Hill and Irving Streets have put together kind of a list of literary works that reflect on some of struggles and even successes throughout Black history. So just wanted to throw that out for folks as well that may be wondering if the city takes the time to recognize specific months and days.
Absolutely. We do those through our proclamations as well. So also the One Westminster book read is coming to a head. Some people read faster than I do. So just finished the book last week. So missed out on the first couple discussions of that, but there's more available on our public library website too. I enjoyed the book thoroughly, so I should have brought a copy of it. So.
Well, you put your comment just right. You should have held it up and just at least just cliff notes for us. But some folks generally are counselors, even our mayor pro tem on our last broadcast had shared if they have their own personal events that they're doing. I know in his case, he had discussed the politics in Pilsner. We've had other counselors that do have book clubs or get-togethers. Are there things that you have in the works or have done in the past that you want to highlight or want people to maybe think about as you are putting those together, and then how to engage with you outside of our city council meetings and everything?
Yeah, I'm always available for coffee, or if you don't drink coffee, you can drink whatever you'd like. But coffees, happy hours. My email address is as all counselors' email links are at the bottom of every single one of our pages, our website. cityofwestminster.us. You can send with one click, you can send an email to all of us at the same time, or our individual emails are there. Feel free to reach out to me, and I prefer sitting down and chatting with people, one-on-one, two-on-one, whatever works for you. I don't have a set place where I hang out and wait for people to drop by. I'm happy to meet you. I prefer to go to locally owned coffee shops if that's important to you to meet in the morning. But yeah, you can reach out and book that with me, and love to chat with you and hear from you. We get a fair amount of emails that come in through that portal, and that was one thing that our communications people did because we'd heard from people. It's hard for us to find your information. Well, now at the bottom of every web page on our site is contact council. So it's a great way to shoot us all an email at one time, so you don't have to memorize those emails or look them up, or you can just do them individually as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. And I can attest to Councilor Seymour being out at those various community events, not just our own chamber ones, but other organizations like Rotary and like Grown Homes, and anywhere really that there is a community happening, he is usually there. So feel free to connect with him and engage with him at those functions or reach out to him directly. It looks like our board chairman, Parker Brown, just joined us. Good morning to you, Parker. Thank you for hopping on. You've missed quite a bit. No, I'm just kidding. This video is available for you to rewind after we have closed out, so you can rewatch and gain some of those quick nuggets that Councilor Seymour has given our way. If you do have any comments or questions and you are not very comfortable typing them into the comment section, you can always DM our page and we can get that over to Councilor Seymour to be able to take a look at, especially if it's anything in particular. Thank you for that quick comment, because I thought about trying to reemphasize Valentine's Day is this week, and it is already brutal on restaurants, but that does not stop us from going out there. So support local this Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. A lot of our retailers and restaurants have a variety of menus or special discounts and offers, and it's just another way for you to think local and put your dollars where your heart is, especially when it is the day of love. So thank you for that, Parker, for including that. Anything else we want others to know about Councilor Seymour before we round out our talk for today?
No, just a key issue that affects historic Westminster that we're going to be chatting about tonight, and it is a construction accepting grant money and then working with Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. We have 3 crossings in historic Westminster that we're been trying to work with the railroad and Federal Railroad Authority to make quiet zones so the trains don't have to blow their horn crossing 72nd and then Bradburn and then Lowell, or going the other direction and just rattling all of our residents in the area. So tonight's part of it is putting together the money, accepting some grant money on that, but also letting people know the one thing that I've learned serving is that the railroad runs at their own speed. We're going to allocate that money, and then we're hoping to get, since they're close enough together, we have to get all 3 crossings done at the same time. So hopefully we'll see some movement on that. Soon in railroad time is different than soon in the rest of our times, but keep moving ahead on that great project to quiet the horns in historic Westminster.
All right. Thank you so much for that as well. We value that portion of our community immensely, and especially our locally owned small businesses that are out there. So very appreciative of it. It looks like we are nearly to the 30-minute mark. I don't see any additional questions or comments. So I think we've blown everyone away with all the information we've given them. And I do want to thank you for coming on here, Councilor Seymour, and giving some quick updates for us and being a voice for our business community. We value you and your input. And for those of you that are watching, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you so much for engaging. This is your way of staying connected and informed on what's going on, especially if you're not able to attend those meetings or read through the 400 pages that might be out there for an agenda. This is really like a Reader's Digest version. And I know my attention span can sometimes be short. And so for me, I find incredible value in these broadcasts. Make sure that you hit the share button on this video so others in your network can also see that we were live and can rewatch this broadcast with us. We will be back on here on Wednesday with a quick meeting with one of our newer partners that in our community, get to know the businesses that are surrounding us, who's running them, about them, and learn about ways that you can engage with them as well. And with that, I will go ahead and close out our Monday morning broadcast. Thank you once again to everyone, and have a great morning. Happy Valentine's Day.